Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 177 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. We have a guest in the studio. Siân is back with us. So,
For how long, we don't know.
No, we don't know. I think it's fair to say Siân might struggle sitting in this position for an hour and 10 minutes like we normally do. So we're just going to get on with it and then we're just going to see exactly how long you can last, I think that's fair to say. How are you getting on anyway?
I'm all right. I am so bored. It is not even funny. I haven't been out the house for 2 weeks nearly.
Yeah.
But I managed to have a shower on my own today.
Yes.
Which was nice. So yeah, I'm doing all right.
You're making progress, aren't you?
I am making. If you see me wincing at all, I'm really sorry. It's just I have to kind of position myself because obviously I've still got my. It's a plaster, really, isn't it? A massive plaster.
Yeah, it is. So, but yeah.
Anyway, on this week's show, we talk about our double home game week against Bristol City and Blackburn. We talk goalkeepers. Ryan is going to teach you another Welsh word. We had a message about this.
Yes.
Asking if you could.
It's in the notes.
Yeah.
Which you haven't read. So yeah, it is in there. Don't worry. It's there. I know exactly what you're going to say, and it's in there. So
I can't read notes that haven't been sent, Ryan. We preview our trip to Preston North End, which is on Saturday, and obviously we do the quiz.
Yes.
So here we go.
Yeah, and we're off. So we got Welsh word of the week. Welsh word of the week. We did have a message.
We need a jingle. Welsh word of the week. Welsh word of the week. Welsh word of the week.
Is that the jingle?
No.
I think any section that we do that's regular, that you feel we need a jingle for, sing it. Just go for it. You've come up with a Welsh word of the week one. Bang, we're using that every week.
I won't remember it next week.
I'll clip it up. Don't worry, we'll play that over the top. Not a problem. Not a problem. You don't need to remember that. The power of editing. I'll sort that. Don't worry.
All right.
We had a message from Glenda Bursey who said, "Hi Ryan, would it be possible to post the Welsh word on the screen when you are giving our Welsh lesson?"
I quite like this section.
Look, see, you sort of. I'm not saying you poo-pooed it. But you were like, oh, yeah, okay.
Only because I thought you were going to, put me on the spot every week.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, nah.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, it's. I think it's here to stay for a bit. I think, maybe.
Until you run out of words.
It's quite hard. It is. So, interesting fact. I'm not sure it's interesting, but the fact nonetheless, there are less words in the Welsh language than there are in the English language, for example, which is why a lot more over history, there's a lot more sort of poets come from Welsh language than English because there are less words, so you have to be more descriptive with what you say.
So what you're saying, it's harder to be a Welsh poet than an English poet because they have less to work with.
Yes, yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. It's not one word this week. It's 2 words.
Shall I try it first?
Yeah, go on. You try it. You try it first and see how you get on.
Gwastraffu amser.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
Well, amser's right. I know that.
Amser is bad. Yeah, so it is.
Bad. You just said amser's bad. You literally just said.
Did I?
Yeah.
Amser is a time. Yeah. So gwastraffu amser. Do you want to say that?
Gwastraffu.
No, I'll say that one again. Traffi.
Traffi.
So gwastraffu
Gwastraffi.
Why did you put? What did you do with your tongue then? Gwastraffi.
Gwastraffi.
Amser. Gwastraffi amser.
And what does that mean, Ryan?
That means time wasting.
Oh.
So I thought I'd put this one in for all of the Blackburn fans. I thought they could learn along with us as well.
And
with a bit of time wasting.
That word that Ryan just said, we'll obviously talk about the Blackburn game, but that was actually detrimental to Blackburn.
I think a lot of teams do this, don't they? They waste time, and then it comes back and bites them at the end of the game.
It did.
And it certainly did. So Gwastraffi amser is this week's words of the week, Welsh words of the week this week. So.
Do you know what I would love to hear?
Yeah.
If people obviously are trying to, if they're like trying to learn the words that Ryan's giving, I would love if you could send us like voice notes of you trying the words.
What a great idea.
And
I
then
love that.
and then oh my god. God. And then we won't necessarily play them on the podcast because I know some people don't.
We will. Yeah, unless I tell you what, send in your attempts at our word of the week as a voice note, and then or a video or whatever. We'll do all the social media stuff in a bit, how you can get in touch. Send us you attempting it. And then if you don't want us to play it or show it on the podcast, or you send a video but you'd only like the audio to go on or whatever, just say, and we won't put it on or we'll put it on or whatever. But yeah, it's
and
good.
Then we can have the Welsh word of the week and the expert of the week.
Okay.
Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
We say, look, say Glenda did it, for example.
Yes.
Glenda is the champion word of the weeker.
Yeah, champion word of the
something like
weeker.
that. I don't know.
No, we'll go with that.
It's work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress.
Yeah.
We had a message from Kent Gulliford this week. He said, "This is just an info question. Don't dogpile me." I don't know if I've ever heard that saying before.
I think it means don't come at me, don't come for me, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He said, "Does Wrexham have to let Issa Kabore go to this tournament outside of the international breaks?" So obviously, there is something called the African Cup of Nations, which happens every 2 years between mid-ish December up to sort of towards the back end of January. All of the African players, Premier League, down, and all the other countries go to this tournament to represent their country. And Issa is obviously one of the players who plays for an African country who will be in the African Cup of Nations. So the question is, do we have to let him go? The answer, the very simple answer to that is yes, we do have to. We cannot block him going to play for his country. So there are FIFA rules and sanctions for any club that blocks a player from going to play for their country. So we have to let him go. Now, over the years, I would say clubs have been creative in the way that that players don't go. They would probably have a conversation with a player, and the player can withdraw from the squad.
They can do it themselves, yeah.
The club cannot withdraw a player. The player can withdraw himself. Now,
herself.
Or herself. I mean, in this instance, we're talking about Issa Kabore, so yeah.
Right.
So yeah, they can withdraw themselves. You do notice a lot of players that don't normally get injured sometimes get injured around an international break or something like that because they don't want to go. Or you get it from time to time when countries have already qualified for whatever they're trying to qualify for, and then all of a sudden the star striker is injured. I think Harry Kane got injured in their last game England's last game, for example. I can't remember the last time Harry Kane was injured, but he had a little bit of a tweak, so he didn't go and play for England. So little things like that do happen, and they withdraw from the squad.
Like Kiefer Moore didn't go, didn't he? Because he was injured.
But he genuinely was injured. So, I'm not. What I'm trying to say is perhaps players aren't always injured.
Okay.
If they, if their club goes, look, we really don't want you to go. If you're going to go, it's your decision. But we would prefer you didn't. Then they might withdraw from the squad because of an injury, as an example. But yeah, so we do have to let them go. But it's then up to the player. With Issa coming back from injury, he might deem it too much of a risk to go and play. And decide he might not even be fit by the tournament starts.
Parky said 6 weeks.
Yes, he did, which takes him right up to the start of the tournament. If he wants to go diving straight into a big tournament like that, straight after injury, I don't know whether the country will even want to pick him because he's coming back from injury. Who knows? But in short, Ken, yes, we do have to let him go. Because there are fines and sanctions for any club that don't allow a player to go.
But the player can withdraw themselves.
They can indeed. Should we talk about Bristol City?
Yes, so starting 11, we had Okonkwo. Back three, we had Cleworth, Hyam and Scar. And on the right, we had Longman. On the left, we had McLean. In the middle, we had Sheaf, Dobson and Thomason. And we had Broadhead. And then we had Kiefer.
Yeah, we did.
Not sure why I said their surnames and then I went Kiefer.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was no Shan. No Shan for this game. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that is the first game that I've been to without you since before you started coming. When you started coming in the National League and you were coming regularly, I don't think I've been to a game without you.
I've never missed. I've been to plenty without you because when you had your back injury.
Yeah, and yeah.
I've never
definitely
not missed a game.
No, you haven't.
It was very weird for me.
Very weird for me, if I'm perfectly honest. It was strange doing a live outside the ground and walking home, and we got you on the live, but it was a bit strange, to be honest. So we had the front two switched from the Ipswich game. Broadhead in for Windass, Moore back in for Sam Smith, so he's back from his injury. We looked good early on, I think. We looked really up for it. And to be fair, we needed to be against what is a very good Bristol City team. Mm-hmm. Broadhead puts 1-0 up, 16 minutes in. Really good goal.
Really was. Was McLean the assist on that?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not 100%.
Can't remember.
But what I will say is the goal, I think, looked better in person than it did on the TV. I know you said it looked good, but I don't know if it was just where I was sitting, my angle. I don't know. It looked brilliant. When I watched the replay, I think perhaps it didn't look as good as it did in real life.
Yeah.
But still an amazing finish to put us one up. I am happy when Brody scores because I think he's struggled a little bit in the early part of his Wrexham career. Mm-hmm. I think he's perhaps found it a little bit hard to deal with not being in the starting 11 all the time. Maybe he's found it a little bit hard to deal with fighting for a place with Josh Windass, who has been, really good and on form. So I like seeing him smile and I like seeing him, score and celebrate because, I think he has found it a little bit tough. He's quite a quiet, shy, retiring sort of player as well. And sometimes you don't always know how a player like that feels. But we've seen him getting subbed off and we've seen him sitting on the bench. And sometimes he can look a little bit shoulders slumped and dejected.
Yeah.
So when things like this happen, I'm happy. And I'm happy he's getting a good run of games as well. We kept pressing after that. Dobson was one-on-one with the keeper, I remember. He went sort of like clean through. And it didn't even hit the target. put it wide of the post. I thought the keeper had saved it, but then they give a goal kick. He should be scoring that, or at least getting it on target. But having said that, Dobbo's got a lot of sort of talent, but perhaps scoring and shooting wouldn't necessarily be that high up the list. But every player on that pitch, when they get in that position,
you just got to get,
you at least want to be working the keeper.
And
I think he, as well as us, would have been quite disappointed with what happened there. Pre-game, I picked out Anis Mehmeti from the Bristol City team. And to be fair to him, he looked dangerous. It's such fine margins, I find, in football, because we got to half-time 1-0 up. But there were one or two moments in that first half where it just could have swung completely the other way. Mehmeti went clean through, probably should have scored, put his shot over the bar. Don't think Arthur was stopping that if he'd kept that on target. Mehmeti had another shot which Arthur spilled in front of him.
Yeah.
Players, it was a bit of a sort of everyone piled in.
Yeah.
The one of the Bristol City players put the ball in the back of the net. Ref had already blown his whistle. I felt we'd got away with one.
Yeah.
What did you think? Having seen it back, what's your reaction to that now? Do you think foul, or do you think, we got away with one there?
Well, funny you should say this. Before I give my opinion, apparently there was an article with the not the referee, the manager. What's his name? Bristol City.
Gerhard Schruber.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Close enough.
He
Schroeder.
said,
Schruber. I don't know.
He said that a Wrexham player apparently came up to him and said that it wasn't a free kick.
Okay, I'm not sure about that. I think you're mixing two things up.
I'm mixing the Blackburn game, aren't I?
I think you're mixing 2 points up there, because I think it was Ishmael who'd said there was a Wrexham player who said to him it wasn't a free kick that led to our goal.
Oh, so that's Blackburn.
That's Blackburn,
yeah. Oh, do you know what? I had that in my head. I thought, I'm going to say that because that's going to...
I think so. So let's just jump to your opinion.
My opinion... Well, it's worth absolutely...
Let's forget the made-up opinions of managers. Let's just go with your opinion.
My opinion probably worth absolutely jot, isn't it, really, now that I've just cuffed that up. I think it was a foul.
In what way?
I just don't know. I can't remember, actually.
It was, I think, at the time, I'd sort of thought...
There's been too many games. My brain is just not working correctly.
Too many games, too many drugs for you, I think, isn't it?
Prescribed.
Prescribed, obviously, yeah. Yes. I thought we'd got away with one, if I'm perfectly honest. I couldn't see the foul. I didn't know what really he'd give it for. There was a player sliding in, and... I'm not sure at the time that he'd made any contact with Arthur. I was a little bit like, I'll take it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure there was a foul in there.
I think he did. I think he made contact.
Well, I've since seen a picture, a still on social media, which shows the guy that slid in. It sort of shows his boot connecting with Arthur's head. So there's like a still. So there is contact there. But I mean, I suppose after seeing that photo, fair play to the ref for picking it out and blowing early, and maybe. But I think if it was the other way round and that was against us, I think I'd have spent quite a bit of time being annoyed by that in the way that Bristol City fans probably have been.
Yeah.
I think, though, if they see the still... I think they probably go, okay, I can see why why that's given, if I'm perfectly honest. But it could have been 2-2, 2-1, 1-1 at half-time, but it ended up being 1-0. Second half, thought Kiefer Moore scored, to be honest. He dragged his shot wide. I felt like I remember my dad turning to me saying, "We need another." Because we all know how good Bristol City are, and we'd seen flashes of it. In that first half, they had one chalked off. They had a few decent shots. So you sort of feel like something's coming. We had Kiefer then had a shot, which Windass had obviously come on as a sub. Kiefer had another shot, well saved by the keeper, and Windass was not able to put it in. Just felt like one of them nights where they were going to creep back into it later on. And then Thomason just went, I'm going to score straight from a corner. You loved that, didn't you?
Oh, my God. I was like, it was just everybody. They were claiming that it was the goalkeeper, that it was an own goal, but I've seen it back, and I don't think he makes any contact with the ball whatsoever.
So he does. So the keeper does, right? So, but I still think it's harsh because to not give it to Thomason, because it was given to Thomason in the ground. Obviously, they'd look at it after. The whip on it is ridiculous.
So
the whip he gets on it is mental. I've not seen a corner like that for a long time. Hit the back post. Now, it definitely hits the keeper. So with that point, I will disagree with you because I've seen it and it hits the keeper on the bum sort of thing, and as it's going across. But my argument would be, I sort of feel like it was going in. I sort of felt like it hit the post. Yes, it was going across the line, hit the keeper, and then went in. But I sort of feel like the way that the bend was on it, it was going to go in anyway. So I was gutted for him because it was his first Wrexham goal as well.
He looked so happy, didn't he?
His first goal for the club. It was given to him and then taken away from him.
But Wrexham have said they'll give it to him, so...
Unfortunately, it doesn't count. You can claim anything you want, but for me, if I was a player, it's like you want it in the official records, and it's not.
Yeah.
The club saying they'll give it to him is sort of like your mum when you're at sports day and you don't win, and your mum gives you the little trophy when you get home and go, "Oh, you're my winner." That's how that feels.
That is so something that I would do.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it. But yeah, it's So I've gutted for him. Gutted. Mehmeti had 2 more shots on target in the second half that Arthur had to save, but it ended 2-0. Happy with that. Good, solid 3 points against a team that will be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season. Yeah, 4th clean sheet in a row.
I know.
Which is amazing. Who was your man of the match?
I'm going to have to give it to George Thomason because that goal was just unbelievable. I think...
He obviously didn't shoot, though. You get that, don't you? You get that he didn't shoot.
Well, he kicked it.
It's
good enough for me.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that. But he hasn't put that ball down on the corner and going, I'm putting this back post right.
How do you know? How do you know what was going through George's mind?
You are right. I have no idea, but I can almost guarantee when you're taking a corner, what you're going, I'm going to whip this as much as I can, cause as much problems as I can. The fact that it goes in doesn't mean you meant to do that. That was a cross that's gone in.
You asked me who my man of the match was.
Yes.
I'm telling you, George Thomason.
I'm not taking that away from you. That's fine. I think Nathan Broadhead got it, didn't he, on the fan vote?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. Very sometimes I sort of feel like not to just bash fans, but sometimes I sort of feel like the man of the match
is a population
vote,
cost. Yeah,
it just feels like a slightly unimaginative, where people go, I don't know who scored. Oh, Broadhead, that'll do. Sometimes it feels like that. I'm not saying Brody didn't play well. He did. Was he man of the match? I'm not sure, really. And I'm not saying he wasn't. But sometimes it just feels like, oh, he scored, give it to him. That's how it sort of feels sometimes. But I don't know. Brody did play well. I would equally agree with you. I thought George Thomason was excellent. Excellent. Should we go on to Blackburn?
Yeah. Shall I use my quote again?
You can use your quote again in a minute. And do you want me to edit out the first time you said it?
Yes.
Yeah, not happening.
No. Okay, so the Blackburn starting 11, we had a conquering goal, obviously. Back three again, there was no change. It was Cleworth, Hyam and Scar. No change to the right. It was Longman. No change. Actually, there was only 2 changes.
Yes.
So we had middle three. We had Sheaf, Matty James and O'Brien. And then obviously we had Broadhead and Moore.
Yeah, we did. I think it says a lot for a team when you can make a couple of changes and
still be good.
It doesn't weaken your team at all. Where you can make a couple of changes, because there was an argument for the starting 11 from the Bristol City game. Sorry.
We've literally just talked about
that. I know. The starting 11 from the Bristol City game to be the starting 11 that started the Blackburn game. I think you could make a good case for that. The fact that we made 2 changes, and it be equally, if not slightly better than the starting lineup before, I think that speaks volumes for the strength in depth that we've got in this squad. But yeah, yeah, that's it. Really. End of.
That's it.
McLean obviously is that was his 3rd start in a row, so he was worried about how much game time he was getting, and now all of a sudden we can't get him out of the team.
That's because, obviously, I think that was purely because, obviously, Kakache's injured and Issa is injured as well. I'm not 100% convinced, if those 2 were okay,
Agree,
that he would be coming in. I'm quite confused. I know that Longman and Barnett are like rights, aren't they?
No. Sort of. So Barnett, right, yeah? Longman has been playing on the right. Longman can play both.
So I want to know is why isn't Barney coming on? Because we know Barney's good.
For who?
McLean. Or, sorry.
Opposite sides.
Yeah, so, no.
Right.
Longman moves to the left and Barnett in the right.
Yes. So that's what's happening. So basically you've got McLean on the left and Longman on the right.
Yeah.
Okay. Longman can play both sides. Comfortable playing both sides. When he was at Hull, he was playing on the left. He's come to us. He tends to play on the right. He can play both sides. Okay. McLean is very left-footed. Will generally play on the left.
Yeah.
So the thing that confuses a lot of people is on Saturday, Barney came on to replace McLean. Now McLean's left, Barney's right, but you're very right in what you're saying. Longman then switched to the left to cover McLean going off, and then Barney comes on the right. Ultimately, that's what's happening. Yeah, happy.
Yeah.
I think that they had and still have, I believe, the 2nd best away record in the division. I think we were the better team in the early exchanges, if I'm honest. So I think it came as a little bit of a surprise to me when we went 1-0 down after 13 minutes, because it sort of felt like we were building to getting the first goal of the game, and it felt like it was coming, and then they scored. I think you made a comment about what. How did you feel about the goal? Was it you who said you sort of felt Arthur was slightly to blame? No, not at all. Somebody said to me that they felt, Arthur should have got that. I mean, it's a great header, I'm not going to lie. That it's come one way, and he's managed to crane his neck round and header it back the other way. Not many keepers are stopping that. It wasn't in the corner, but all of a keeper's momentum's going one way, and he's having to try and shift to go the other way, and I think he just fell to his knees in the end, really. I don't think many keepers are stopping that. But yeah, and then we had the McLean goal/no goal.
Honestly, I thought that watching the highlights back, it was like, oh my God, how did that, it was just mental. They even put it up on the screen, didn't they, saying goal?
They did, yeah, in the ground. So it come up on the screen saying goal. My dad
I was going to say, tell the story about your dad.
So my dad was up on his feet, like cheering, and then I knew it wasn't in. I'd seen it go past the post, and I'd seen it. The reason I knew it wasn't in is I'd seen it hit the sort of advertising boards at the back. So I knew it hadn't gone in. But from our angle, it looked in all day long.
It hit the net, didn't it, as well?
Yeah, it did.
Side of the net.
And my dad was up on his feet. He did a bit of a cheer, clapping, and he turned to me, and I was still sitting down because I knew it wasn't in. And he looked at me and he went, "What are you doing down there?" And I went, it wasn't in. And he went, "Wasn't it?" I went, "No." And I was like, "Oh, right, okay." But I think he wasn't on his own.
No.
There were quite a few people who thought that was in.
When we watched the extended highlights, the commentators who weren't like the normal commentators, which is weird.
Yeah, so when we watched the highlights back, we didn't watch the Wrexham ones. We watched, just to make like additional notes, basically, we watched the extended highlights, which come from the EFL, not from the club.
Right, okay, cool. So they were like, they thought that it was, for a second, they thought it was in. And he said even like it came up on the screen saying goal, and so your dad wasn't the only one. Was like my brother in that up as well?
I don't know, to be honest. I was just sat down, so I'm not sure who else.
Can you imagine if I was there? Me and my mum were there.
You would have been up.
I would have been. Well, I'm not sure I would have been up. But...
No, you'd have thought it was in.
What's going to happen because my next game I'm going to is the Watford game, isn't it?
You've got 2 weeks now until the game. You've had 2 weeks of recovery. You've got another 2 weeks of recovery. We're obviously having to sort of turn down tickets for certain games, like away games. So we're not going to Preston, unfortunately. We're not going to be going to Swansea. There's another game in there.
Hull?
No, I don't think we were going to go to Hull, were we? But yeah, there's a few games that we're sort of turning down because we don't... It's not so much the watching the game for Siân. It's the travel element of it, and we're not sure how you're going to be with an hour and a half, 2 hours in the car, so it's more sensible. But yeah, you've got 2 weeks to recover, an additional 2 weeks on top of the 2 weeks you've already had. So fingers crossed.
I can get up and cheer.
You're in a really good place by then. Look, we were 1-0 down. Disappointed to be 1-0 down at half-time, I would say. I think the second half was then just wave after wave of Wrexham attack.
The commentary, they mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
In the second half, we were the better team.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we had 73% possession in that second half. We had 15 shots in the second half compared to 1 in the first half. We had a triple sub on the hour, Doyle, Dobson, Windass. In my opinion... we look better with Windass, Broadhead on the pitch together. I felt like we looked... It's hard to say definitively, but we did it at Stoke when we were 1-0 down. We had them both on the pitch and we looked better. We did it on Saturday against Blackburn. In both them instances, we were chasing the game. And we were an hour into the game before we saw that happen. So it is hard to say, why aren't we doing that all the time?
From the start.
Because we haven't seen it from the start. So we don't know how it works from, clean slate, straight from the first whistle. But we have, on the couple of occasions we've seen it, in my opinion, we look better with them two playing together. Although... maybe that makes us a little bit open in the middle because them two are quite attacking sort of players when we're only really playing with one attacking. Maybe we're sacrificing a little bit of the structure and defensive nature of our midfield by playing them both together. Although Windass was dropping extremely deep to pick up the ball. So I don't know. I'd like to see it, I think is my point. What else happened? Moore had a header, didn't he? That was well saved by the keeper without him really knowing anything about it. Broadhead had a glaring opportunity that he sort of sliced wide. Parky went for it then. He put Sam Smith on, took Matty James off for the last 5 minutes. We won a soft free kick. I think it's fair to say. This is the one where the manager said that you mentioned before.
I wonder if a Wrexham player did say to him that it wasn't a free kick.
He might have done. They might have been chatting, generally after the game and gone, I don't think that was a free kick, really.
Why would you do that?
Well, they're all just...
Like
I think all players and sort of staff at a club would be quite comfortable talking to each other. A lot of people would know each other. Potentially it was Dom Hyam, who would probably know a lot of the players and the
Naughty
staff.
Dom.
I'm not saying it was Dom. I'm just saying, they might have gone, I don't think that was a free kick. But I think a lot of players would make the assumption that when you're speaking to another player or a manager or staff from another club, that they wouldn't then go and bring that up in an interview. I think it's probably an unwritten rule amongst professionals within the sport of football that you can have a conversation with a rival manager, with a rival player, talk about the game, talk about whatever you want. But that they wouldn't then bring it up in an interview going, someone said it wasn't for you. Do you get what I mean? So I think from the manager's point of view, I think that's poor.
So the manager's a snake then?
Absolute snake, I would say.
He also said that the referee was that obviously gave the foul, Ruben Ricardo. He said, the manager, that it was a cheap free kick, whatever you want to call it.
Was it? It wasn't Ruben Rodrigo who's the ref.
Oh, it wasn't. It was Tom Reeves. Rico Ricardo was the one from Bristol City.
He was, yeah.
Tom Reeves, was the referee.
Because I was looking at you because I was like, Ricardo was reffing another game that I watched.
He was.
On the weekend.
He was. No, sorry. Tom Reeves was reffing.
Sorry, ref chat. We know them all.
Yeah. He was there. So he said that it was a cheap. Honestly, my brain is complete. This has been stuck inside for 2 weeks.
Your brain has turned to cotton wool. Yeah, it has.
It has. I can't remember anything. I don't even know how to do my job anymore. When I go back,
don't say that on a podcast.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, he said it was a cheap free kick.
It was
a cheap decision from the referee.
I'm not going to deny that. I think the line will give it as opposed to the ref giving it, but soft is the word. I've seen a lot of Blackburn fans going, not even a free kick. I don't know. They're them little ones that you sometimes see given, sometimes not. It was soft, though. I would have to agree that it was soft. But at the end of the day...
It worked in our favour in the end, though, didn't it?
Yeah, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. Ultimately, you'll get some free kicks that are maybe a little bit soft, but then you won't get ones that guarantee, bankers. So.
You say that, though. But if the roles were reversed,
100%,
you would be absolutely livid, as well will 10,000 Wrexham fans.
Put a pin in that for a second, right? Free kick come in, more header, Broadhead shot. Don't know what the hell Max was doing because he went to put his foot out to get the ball. He missed it completely. It hit him on the calf and it went in. Who cares, right? Max got a goal. I don't think he can claim it too much, but in the official records, because he went to hit it, missed it completely, hit him on the back of the leg and went in. Okay, I'll take that all
Doesn't
day
matter
long.
Which part of your body it hits, as long as it's not your hand.
Does not matter. Now, we had a little bit of a unique insight, didn't we, over the last 2 games, because I was watching them live and my co-podcaster was watching them on TV. So we had a sort of dual perspective on the game between the two of us. Now, the thing I just put a pin in was you saying if the roles were reversed, then you'd be really angry. And yeah, you're very right. Now, I've seen lots of stuff on social media over the last couple of days, and I said something on our post-game live, which I'll come to in a minute. Now, we've seen lots of stuff. There was one guy I've replied to on X. He said, so, I think it's, Super Sub. on X. He'd made a comment going that Blackburn were time wasting from the first minute. And he said time wasting from the first minute ? He goes, there was only one team in it for 60 minutes. Okay. Now I replied back to this guy and going, I completely agree. It's a correct statement, but please tell me you don't think it was you lot that were the only team in it for 60 minutes because you were non-existent for 75 of it. Absolutely. Now, I made a comment after the game, and I still stand by this now. But you disagreed with me, which is why I'm talking about unique perspective. In my opinion, watching that game on Saturday, and look, if people disagree, please comment. Please comment. I'd love to know your opinion. But they were
a lot of people did.
Did they? Oh, I haven't read them.
Yeah.
That I felt Blackburn were the worst team to have visited us this season. I think you didn't think so, though. You thought they were pretty good. I
thought that Wrexham, the team that went out on Wednesday, and the team that went out on Saturday just wasn't consistent. It was like, obviously we did have 2 changes, but I don't think that would have caused too much of an issue. But I just felt like, I don't know, they just didn't seem to have, I don't know, they weren't, I just don't think the pressure was there.
Cohesion, all that sort of stuff. Don't
get me wrong, the second half, again, it was a completely different team. We came out and we probably did dominate most of the second half.
Yeah, I think for me, if they were the worst team, in my opinion, to have visited the racecourse. Now, look, when we go away from home against quote unquote big teams, then sometimes we will shut up shop a little bit. We don't provide much going forward. We're very defensive. We, again, quote unquote, go there for a point, which a lot of people say, which is fine, right? But what the rival fans say is they offered nothing. They're the worst team to have visited us in I don't know how long.
The fans are quiet.
Well, I'm more bothered by the fact that they say this is the worst team that I've seen play here for ages, right? Now, is that true? Maybe. I don't know, because I don't know everyone that you've seen play. Yes, we are quite shut off and we are very tight defensively, and maybe we don't offer much going forward. If you think we're the worst teams who have visited you, that's your choice to say that, and I will accept what you say. But for me, that gives me the right to then, when somebody comes to the racecourse that I think are doing that exact thing, then I've got the right to call them out as well. They were time wasting all game.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Like they were so slow. The keeper decided to take a free kick from 4 different locations every time the ref pushed him back. I mean, that's just football. That's fine. If you want to waste a bit of time, that's fine. But for me, in that second half especially, they just battened down the hatches and went, we're just going to sit here and hope that nothing happens. I turned to your brother and I said, about 70 minutes in, the pressure just built and built and built. And I turned to him and I said, we get 1, we'll get 3. Because that's a sort of way that it felt. It's like you just needed to break that seal and then they were going to come. Because I didn't feel Blackburn had anything coming the other way. And yeah, for me, the worst team that visited the racecourse this season. If you disagree with that, just tell me. But tell me who was worse. Tell me who's worse. Oxford came and they had a go. Charlton came, they had a go. QPR beat us. West Brom beat us. So who's worse that we faced this season? You can't just say I'm wrong. You're going to have to tell me who was worse.
There was another comment I saw on social media. Somebody had said, and I'm assuming it's a Blackburn fan, said that something about the ref gave this late free kick, stupid, God forbid they have to put something rubbish in their documentary or something like that, or something like, basically the ref let us win, basically, gave us the chances to win. But somebody then replied to this message and said, well, West Brom beat us at home. What was the other team you said? QPR beat us at home. So really your point is a moot point, because if we were given the chances to win every single home game, we would have done it from the start. We would have been given the chances from the start. So I just think, my point is, I just think sometimes... I
was going to say, get to it.
Sometimes I think that comments that opposing fans come out with are just like so...
It's just rage baiting, though, isn't it? And I think
they're boring, though. It's the same thing. Oh, stick that in your documentary. Oh, the referee was paid off with a brown envelope, and it's just like, oh my god, it's just. And you said before, in quotes, about big teams. When are Wrexham going to get the same respect? Do you know what I mean? I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying. When other fans and stuff, start giving Wrexham the respect that we deserve from what we've done since the National League has been nothing but amazing.
But there's always an argument for it, isn't there? That I don't know. I think a lot of rival fans think that we assume that we have floated from the National League to the Championship by spending no money. We know we've spent money. We've spent bucket loads of money. But they always talk as if they're going, oh, not much of a fairy tale, is it? They've spent £40 million. We know we've spent £40 million. That isn't...
You can tell we've got that on the pitch.
Hey, fairy tales need funding. Do you know what I mean? Has anyone been to Disney World? Have you seen the size of it? That didn't get built with magic fairy dust.
And you can't take fairy dust with you. Yeah.
Cold, hard cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, the fairy tale isn't... the fact is we were in the National League for years and years and years. We had these two men who come along, took a chance, spent a lot of money on us, and have got us up to the Championship. Right, that's the fairy tale for us. And I don't care about using that term. Oh, fairy tale, is it, spending 40 million quid? Well, it is to us fans who've watched us, no offence to these teams, watched us playing Fylde and losing to Alfreton. Google them if you've never heard of them, but we've had to sit through playing against these teams, and somebody's come along and put their money in and actually got us to where we are now. That to me is like a dream come true, and people can poo-poo it all they want. I couldn't really care less, but it is what it is. But look, we're up to 9th in the Championship on 26 points. Birmingham do play Watford on Monday, so if they win or draw, they can go back above us, but we'll only drop to 10th. So we're 9th at the moment. Obviously, Birmingham are playing Monday, and if Watford win, we stay 9th. Anything else, we drop back to 10th by the next round.
Not too shabby though, that, is it?
Look, we're unbeaten in our last 8 Championship games. We've won 4, drawn 4. We've only lost 1 league game in our last 13. Which was Stoke away on the 18th of October. We've only conceded 1 goal. I was
just checking your stat then, sorry, because I could have sworn we were 10th. So I was just checking, but yeah, we are 9th.
Look, we've only conceded 1 goal in the last 5 games. That brings me on to my next point and my next question. And this is where we're going to talk goalkeepers. Danny Ward was our number 1. At the start of the season.
Yeah.
Okay. We went to Millwall. He went up for a ball. He fell, knocked himself out, broke his elbow, whatever it was that he did. And it's put him out for quite a while. In that time, Arthur's come in. He
had a bit of a rocky start, didn't he?
A little bit of a rocky start.
Yeah.
But he's really shored up. And, he's kept plenty of clean sheets. Now, Danny's back from injury, potentially the end of this month, maybe January. could be longer if there's like, complications with rehab, etc. The question is, what happens when he's fit? Don't think about this too hard. What would you do if they were both fit now?
With what Okonkwo's done over the past few games, yes, he let a goal in on Saturday, but he had no chance of saving it. But I think you need to stick to Okonkwo because he has got his clean sheets, and I think to take him out now after having such a good run, if he was doing badly, like letting 3 or 4 goals in per game, then I'd be like, yeah, get Danny Ward back now. But I think you need to keep with momentum, and I think you need to keep Okonkwo for a bit.
Okay, I would probably agree with you.
But that's not going to happen.
I don't know. Can I be honest? I don't know what's in Phil's head. I don't.
Does anybody?
No, I don't know. Fresh slate, start of the season, he had the choice of 2 goalkeepers. He did. Arthur and Danny.
And he chose Danny.
Yeah. Right. For whatever reason. I don't know because he's never come out and said why he chose him. He just must have felt he was the better keeper out of the 2. So he's done that. And then Danny's got injured. It sort of fixes itself, doesn't it? He's gone, right, I think Danny, we'll go with Danny. And then you're sitting there going, Arthur does need game time to keep him sharp. Then Danny gets injured, and that sort of answers his problem a little bit because he's then going, oh, well, I don't have to make a decision now because Arthur's in. But when Danny's back, he then does have to make a decision. Look, I noticed on Saturday Arthur's distribution is getting better. It's still a touch on the slow side for me, but it is getting a little bit better. And he's a little bit more aware, and he's up, and he's looking what's in front of him, and he's attempting to play out as soon as he can. I do still have a couple of question marks regarding that. Also his communication, and sometimes he's a little bit, should we call it spilly with the ball? Spilly.
A little bit spilly.
Which we saw on against Bristol City. We spilled the ball at shot. It should have been a relatively comfortable stop for a keeper. He spilled it back into the middle of the goal. They did score. It was ruled out, but it could have been quite detrimental to us as a team. That can happen from time to time. Is Danny Ward better? I don't know, really. If I'm honest, we did let in quite a few goals early in the season. I'm not sure you can put all of that on Danny's shoulders. I think that was a defence trying to understand how everybody else works and trying to
gel,
trying to build cohesion. And I think that was something that attributed to leaking quite a few goals early on. As the defence have got better, that we've conceded less goals, maybe that just so happens coincides with Arthur being there, or maybe it's a little bit to do with Arthur as well. It's impossible to say, really, isn't it? But he is making some good saves. So for me, pick one now. You've gone with Arthur. I'd probably agree with that, and I'd probably stick with Arthur. Let us know what you think. Who would you rather? Just reply in the comments, Arthur or Danny.
Who would you rather? Danny. Oh, no, I did that wrong. Who would you rather, Arthur?
Who would you rather? Danny. I was looking going, well, I hope she's not implying they rhyme.
I'm not even sure rather an Arthur, really.
Not really. No.
Anyway.
Yeah, look, a quick fancy EFL update. So Amy Wilcox is in first still. We're just going to keep going with different names.
Every time you say a name, I think, oh, they told you. No.
Nope, absolutely not. So, Amy, well done. You're still in first place. Ian Dougal is second, and Ben Parker is in third. Gaps starting to open up. So Amy's got a 27-point lead on Ian, and Ian has got a 23-point lead over Ben Parker. So we're starting to get stretched at the top. So Amy's building a lead there. So we'll wait and see.
Well done, Amy.
We can wait and see if she holds on to that one. Look, there's one game coming up this week. It is Preston North End. Take it away, Siân.
So Preston are 19th. Start again. Rewind.
Every single week,
I
right?
know.
Every single week, it's the same. It's the same format. Every single week,
I know.
that it is here to inform people what game it is. It is the 10th game. It is the 14th game. Every single week when Siân does it, she goes, Preston are 19th, and oh no, wait there, it's the 19th league game of the season, isn't it? Right. Should we do a rewind?
Yeah.
Not editing that out either.
God, you're so mean.
I don't edit. This is one shot. It's like, what's that drama? Adolescence. One shot. This.
I wish we got as many views as that did.
I mean, we're similar, are we? In critical acclaim.
That you are an adolescent, yeah. Anyway, so Preston North End, they are 19. No, oh my God, I did it again. Oh, it's our 19th league game of the season.
You're squeezing me quite tight.
Sorry. I hurt my hip a bit then, sorry. So the game is on Saturday the 6th of December. 6th of December, how mental is that?
I know, we're already in December.
Yeah, happy 1st of December, everybody.
Yeah.
Saturday the 6th of December. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock UK time. We are away at Deepdale. Yeah, I find that a bizarre name. Deepdale, which is 70 miles away from us, which is, dependent on traffic, an hour and 15 minutes. Their capacity is a whopping 23,304.
Is it whopping? Is that whopping?
Well, it's bigger than us, isn't it? It's double our size.
Well, everyone's bigger than us, but I'm not sure it's whopping.
Not ever. Talking a bit. Sorry, let me just
I thought you were going to be sick then.
No, put a pin in this. Do you remember what we were watching the EFL highlights last night?
Yes.
And
Saturday night.
Saturday night. And we looked at, like, obviously they showed the games of all the leagues, and they showed the MK Dons game.
Oh, I know. It was like it was COVID.
Literally, there was so many, like, it was just absolutely ridiculous.
Like most teams, they've got the name, so they've got MK Dons in the seats.
Like we've got Wrexham in the
like we've got, they've got MK Dons in the seats. So the seats are black, but then it spells out MK Dons. And most of the time, you can't see that because there's fans sitting there. Oh, you could see every letter.
Oh my God, it was awful. It
was so empty. It's mad.
No wonder the MK Dons are doing crap because
shouldn't steal a football club, should you? Don't steal a football club and take it to another place and expect it to be successful. You absolute whatever.
Anyway, so they were founded in 1880. They finished 20th in Championship last season on 50 points, which is 1 point above the relegation zone.
Yeah, very lucky last season. They were very lucky. They're looking good this year, though.
So this is their 11th straight season in the Championship.
That does say that.
Sonce.
That does say sonce.
Sonce?
You obviously know. You didn't have to bring that up, did you? It obviously says since, but it's just a typo. Sonce their inception. So I like that word, sonce.
Since their inception, they have spent 52 seasons in the second tier. 52 seasons.
Yeah.
That's mental.
So they've been in the second tier more than any other tier in English football.
The last time we played them was in the EFL Cup, which was away at Deepdale, and we beat them 3-2 in August, which seems years ago.
I know, it does, doesn't it?
Seems so long ago. So the last league game that we played with them was in the 99-2000 season. We lost 1-0 away and drew 0-0 at the racecourse. They play in white, and their nickname is the Lily Whites.
I'm not sure.
Lily White. That's such a, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think they use that regularly. They might do, but I think they're more North End. I think they use North End, or I don't know how much they use Lily Whites, but officially their nickname is the Lily Whites. Anyway.
So they beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-2 away on Saturday, which I'm gutted for Sheffield Wednesday, if I'm honest.
Well, they're going down, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Which is why I'm gutted for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're fifth on 30 points at the moment. They have won 8, drawn 6, and lost 4. Their last 5 games they've played, they've won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1. Home games, they played 9, winning 5, drawing 2 and losing 2. So not too, I don't know, predictions.
I'm going to go for the same score as the League Cup game. I'm going to go for 3-2 Wrexham.
Really?
Why not? Why not? Ryan Hardy scored a worldie, didn't he, when we played him away? Do you remember?
I don't even know who Ryan Hardy is.
Well, you do know who Ryan Hardy is. But yeah, I do get your sarcasm. Yeah, but I thought I'd better just say that so that everyone goes, what does she mean she doesn't know who Ryan Hardy is?
What sort of Wrexham podcast is this?
Yeah, I know.
I do know who Ryan Hardy is. It's just he's not really getting game time.
He's not on the radar, is he?
No, not
let's
really.
be honest. Go on. I'm going to go 3-2. 3-2 Wrexham.
Okay, I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0? Difficult game, this one. Look, it's really tough.
They're all difficult if you listen to you.
Yeah, but they are, though. That's the problem. The Championship's
playing so many big teams.
Well, shut up, you. What do you mean? You having a go at me now?
No, I'm having a go at other people because they're so.
Yeah, there are big teams in this league. You know what I mean? And they're playing these away from home. This is a tough game, and a lot of people are asking the question now: Are we making a bit of a push? Could we make the playoffs? But
if we get in the playoffs, do we go to Wembley?
Well, if we get in the playoffs, you've got semi-final first.
Oh, yeah.
Which you have to play home and away.
So it's the final that plays
final at Wembley, yeah.
I think if we got that's scary, that is. I don't this is probably a really unpopular opinion, but I don't want to go to the Premier League this season.
No, I get you. I do get you. I'm not saying I don't want to. I think for me, you've got to take your opportunity when it arises.
Yeah, I guess.
If that's this season, so be it. If it takes us 5 years or 10 years, so be it. But, whenever that opportunity comes, you can't be, I'm not ready. We're not ready. It's like having a baby, innit? If you were, as a couple, if you only had a baby when you felt you were fully ready, no one would have kids, because no one ever feels ready to have kids, do they?
I did.
I don't think most people do.
I think if
though.
you plan for a baby, you're ready.
I didn't feel ready to to have a life living in my house that I had to make sure didn't die. That's tough. I don't think anyone's ever completely ready for that. And
it's all coming out now, isn't it?
And
we planned for Alfie as well.
Yeah, I know we did, but you can plan for something and still not feel completely ready for it.
I don't think you were expecting it to happen so quickly with Alfie.
I think it can still be extremely scary. You can plan to do something. Imagine, I've done a skydive, right, years ago. I planned to do that. When I got up there in that plane, it was still scary and I was not prepared for what was about to happen. You can plan something and still be extremely worried and scared about it. Okay. Look, I like I say, you just got... When that moment comes, we've got to grab it with both hands.
It would be nice to go on the pitch again at the end of the season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and to go to... There's some clubs you want to... you just want to be part of the Premier League. And look, I'm not being... Before anyone, jumps on it, I'm not
dog piles on you.
Yeah, I'm not being dog pile. I like dog pile. I might use that. I might have to Google it before,
just to make sure.
It means what I think it means.
Yeah, it doesn't mean a dog pooing all over you or something.
Maybe, yeah. Look, yeah, I'm not being delusional. It's not like we're gonna make the playoffs, but. We're doing well at the moment, and long may that continue. It's games like Saturday that prove your mettle. It's not Oxford at home on a Wednesday night that proves, where you're heading as a club. It's Coventry live on TV.
The only team that has been beaten by Wrexham.
Yeah. No.
We're the only team that have beaten Coventry.
They're not the only team to have been beaten by Wrexham. That's what you just said.
I meant Wrexham are the only team so far this season that have managed to beat Coventry.
They're the games that prove your steel.
Yeah.
And Saturday is one of them. Bristol City at home, on Wednesday, that proves that you're serious about the season and that you're there and you're together as a squad. Saturday's another one of them away at Deepdale. You got to prove yourself, prove your steel, prove your metal.
Pedal to the metal.
Yes. Look, if you would like to support the show, you can do it in a few different ways. If you're watching us on YouTube, just like and subscribe. It's completely free. It really helps us out, and that's a really good way that you can help to support us. If you enjoy the podcast, then why not leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform that you listen to us on. If you don't think it's a 5-star,
don't comment.
Maybe just don't
comment.
Don't
review.
Don't comment. Just move on. It's fine. Look, we don't all have to like everything, but if you think it's 5 stars, let us know. Anything less, maybe not. Don't bother. I told you, didn't I? So our rating on Apple Podcasts is 3.4 or something like that.
Out of 5.
Out of 5. On Spotify, it's 4.9. We're right up there. We're flying. So we need the Apple users to rate the podcast 5 stars, please. That would.
I'm
really
assuming
help.
People listen to Spotify if they're Android users.
But I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know. Look, alternatively, you can buy us a coffee. You can do that by visiting buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. Or you can super chat on our YouTube lives, which we do before and after pretty much every game. That's how it'll work, unless I'm working or something like that.
Or I'm having another hip replacement.
yeah. But generally, before and after every game, we will be doing a YouTube live. Huge thank you to Steve Barton this week. He supported the show by well, how did he do it? Oh, super chat on YouTube Live. That's how he did it. So thank you very much.
Steve's done that a few times actually, which is so generous. We are so appreciative of your support, Steve.
So, thank you very much. If you do like and subscribe, just drop a little message in the comments. Just let us know, and we'll read your name out next week. How's that? How's that for a deal? And that's free for you. So there you go. If you want to get in touch, loads of ways. Comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube. Click contact the show at the bottom of the description if you're listening as a podcast. Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, all that guff. Or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com. Quick shout out for Dragon Chat before we move on to the quiz. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other is at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. Sorry, and that is. Hang on, I've lost my train of thought here. Monday 8 p.m. women. Thursday 7 p.m. men. Sorry. If you want to find out how to get on these calls, go to the Wrexham AFC website, go to the Communities tab and scroll to Health and you'll find Dragon Chat in there. Alternatively, how to get on the calls are in the description of this and every episode we have ever done on YouTube. They also meet up in person in the Dragon Chat room at the Miners Project at 1 p.m. before every Saturday home game and 6:15 for the midweek games. Quiz time. You ready? Yeah. So, won, drawn, or lost is the title of this week's quiz. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is your 5th season watching Wrexham.
Yep.
I'm going to give you a date and an opponent, and all you need to do is to tell me if the game was won, drawn, or lost. I will also tell you whether it was home or away. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
19th of October 2024, Rotherham away.
Draw.
It's not a great start. So that was when Paul Mullins scored in the first minute. We were there. I put that one first because we were actually there.
Oh, was that when we stayed in that horrible hotel?
That is the one. That is the one. Yes. So that, not a great start. One of the more recent ones on the list as well. So,
No hope.
Yeah, I don't fancy your chances. 10th of February 2024, Bradford at home. Come on, dial in.
Draw.
Dial into them memories. Draw.
Win.
Draw, win. Which one?
Win.
Win. Okay. I mean, either answer, both wrong. We lost that one. That was Andy Cook scoring in the 90th minute, and we lost that game 1-0. So, your time away hasn't improved your quiz skills, has it?
No.
Okay. 19th of August, 2023, Swindon at home.
Drew.
Drew, remember the
2-2.
score? 2-2. No, that was the 5-5 game.
We still drew though, so I still get a
You
point.
did. You get a point. Yeah, even though you didn't remember the game. Yes, you get a point for that. That was the 5-5 draw, the crazy game.
Look at those names.
I know. Elliot Lee got 2. James Jones, Jake Bickerstaff. Oh, one of them's still there, apparently. Never see him, but there we go. 4. 26th of December, 2022. Solihull Moors at home.
1.
Score?
No.
Just looked at me and like, no. 5-0. So that was a Paul Mullin hat-trick. Aaron Hayden and Ollie Palmer scored on that day. Sad, isn't it?
It's
Seeing
sad.
all these players, yeah.
Well, we were watching the EFL thing yesterday, and Ollie Palmer's name came up.
He did a few times playing for Swindon. Yeah, he did. And the last one, the 25th of July, 2024, against Chelsea.
I'm sure we beat them. It was only a friendly, wasn't it?
Of course.
Yes.
Crazy Horse.
Win.
Of course, Crazy Horse.
Oh, I don't know. Did we win? I'll just say win.
Win?
Mm.
No, we drew 2-2. Goals from Luke Bolton and Jack Marriott. And
Talking of Luke Bolton, he follows us on Instagram now.
He does, yeah. Hi, Luke. I don't know if you watch, but comment if you do. Why not? Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
I thought it was Twitter, but it's not. It's Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah. There we go. Look, thanks very much for joining. What did you get, by the way, then?
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Do you like that quiz?
No, I don't like any of your quizzes.
Are you so hard to please in many, many ways?
Oh, do you know what? I would actually just like to say a massive thank you to you. You have been so supportive and lovely over the past couple of weeks, literally doing everything for me. Not everything, because that's just a step too far. But making hot water bottles for me, getting me a drink, making sure I'm eating fruit, making sure I'm having vitamin C, just generally being a Florence Nightingale.
I try my best.
Yeah, and he said to me last night that he'd do anything for me, and just melted my heart. So thank you. I love you very, very much, and I do appreciate you.
Well, I wouldn't have
Roll on the next hip replacement.
God, yeah. It might be me next with me knee.
Just trying to gag in on the sympathy.
Got him, yeah.
It's
Got him.
ridiculous.
Look, thank you very much for joining us this week. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoy having Siân back, because I do. I feel more comfortable when you sat there next to me. But if for any reason you're off for a prolonged period, that chair is leaving and I'm sitting directly in the middle. Why
the bloody hell would I be off for a long period of time?
I don't know. If you had another operation or something, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not saying you're going to, but generally when people have a hip replacement, they tend to have the other one done like years down the line, don't they?
Yeah, but mine's okay at the moment.
Okay,
it's quite healthy,
cool.
so I'm
anyway,
all right.
I feel like we're babbling.
Yeah, we are a little bit.
Thank you
I need
very
to get
much.
Out of this chair.
Yeah, I've got to peel Siân out of this chair. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you join us next week, 6 p.m. on Monday for the next episode of the podcast. Saturday, about an hour before kickoff, we will be doing a pre-game live. Straight after the final whistle, we'll be going live again from the studio. We can't go to the game, unfortunately, because Siân's still in recovery mode. But we will be on YouTube. We will be live. So jump on, give us all your comments. Thank you very much.
Have a good week, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.